Mohammad Siraj is running across the field away from his normal position and nowhere near the stairs needed to leave the surface for tee on day 4. He moves around 50 meters out of his way just to get to Prasidh Krishna. He's tired, and yet he still does it. He doesn't have much energy left, and yet he spends it on this. And the reason is simple. He wants to say sorry to his bowling partner for not completing the catch of Harry Brook. When the English number 5 top-edged the ball, it hung in the South London gloom forever. And Siraj was reading it perfectly. And he completed the catch. But then he took a step for balance, and it was on the boundary. Siraj wanted Prasidh to know that the mistake was on him. So as their teammates were already near the boundary edge, and some of them even off the ground, Siraj embraced Prasidh with a hug of apology. I once made a pair in a club game, which is almost impossible to do. But I have been obsessed with batting my entire life. And so I put that into my new book, The Art of Batting. Being that I'm not very good at that skill, I decided to talk to other people who were. So I hit up as many contacts as I could just to talk about batting. Rahul Dravid, Brian Lara, A.B. de Villiers, Kumar Sangakkara, Ross Taylor, Susie Bates, Nasser Hussain, Ian Chappell, and so many, many, many more. I wanted batters to talk about how they and their friends made runs, because that is the art of batting. 35 runs and 4 wickets to win. Prasidh Krishna delivers a short ball. It just has nothing on it. It's tame, timid. Maybe it was a looser, but Jamie Overton doesn't care. He smashes it. Maybe that was always the plan, or maybe he just got a decent ball in his spot. Is Overton playing big shots because Smith is at the other end, or just because it's England? He picks up a boundary and you can feel everyone in the ground lose some of their tension. Maybe we aren't going to get that magic finish that filled up this incredible stadium. Perhaps it's just going to be the heavy roller and England who wins. The next ball is just as bad for India. This time Prasidh delivers a good one outside off stump. Overton goes to drive, but it takes an inside edge and it flies back. There are 2 outcomes to this, bowled or 4. The mistake misses the base of leg stump, but finds the fine leg boundary. In the space of 2 deliveries, India has allowed England to make 8 out of the 35 runs they needed. The next delivery beats the bat. It's wide and fades away a little. But really, it's still a stiff-looking delivery, and Overton just swipes at it and misses. The ball has so little energy, it doesn't quite make it to the keeper. But it's another error, and it's followed by more as Overton tries to drive and hits the ball into his own foot. 27 runs and 4 wickets to win. Now it's Siraj to Smith. His first one is very wide, but it swings even further away. And Smith gets himself stuck on the crease and just wafts at it. The kind of shot you see in a bowler's highlight package of wickets caught at slip. But however, Smith misses it, and the following ball, which is even better. In between them, Gus Atkinson is shown looking nervous in the gallery. A moment later, he's walking out because Smith has nicked Siraj behind. Yesterday, it felt like the Indian seamer would have to give everything he had just to take one batter. Today, it's 3 outswingers and he's done. Such is the tension of it all. A simple catch by Juve Durrell has to be looked at, as it seems like neither of the umpires were actually watching at the right time. But it's a big edge and a simple catch. And England are now out of frontline batters. 27 runs and 3 wickets to win. Now Atkinson is facing his first ball and he's playing a half shot with an open face that looks like it's practice. And that's exactly where the ball heads. KRL drops down to scoop it up, but it's either just short or just carried. Neither matters, as Rahul doesn't actually pouch it. Instead, he drops his head and he wrings his fingers for minutes, even as Atkinson mangles his next delivery to mid-off. The final ball of the over, the fast bowler tries to flick to the leg side, but it travels too off from leading edge. Jaiswal loses the ball, and maybe he wouldn't have caught it anyway, but Siraj thinks that everything should be taken right now. And so he's screaming as England take 2 runs. Umpire Kumar Damasena actually comes down to settle the Indian bowler, even though he appears to be yelling at his own team. His over is done, and communally, it feels like we've already lived 4 lives just watching it. 25 runs and 3 wickets to win. Overton defends the next delivery from Prasidh Krishna. Unlike the first over, where he looked like he was going to attack, he's doubting himself now, prodding in an uncertain manner. But the ball arrives short again, and Overton tries to pull, getting an under edge. neither thin enough to make the keeper, nor harsh enough to come down onto the stumps. Rashid can't believe he survived in either direction. Another outswinger Overton flashes at, only to miss, before pulling again, this time though, safely for one. The English crowd applauds the single, and then the 350 being brought up. The second one actually gets a louder cheer. Only in cricket could a landmark like this be applauded amongst all this chaos. Atkinson misses the next delivery with a lazy drive that you'd never even think about twice if it happened on any other day of this match. But it brings in deep intakes of air from everyone. You can feel the ground moving. Pressey goes back to his into the wicket length, outside off stump, and the ball crashes into the middle of Atkinson's bat towards the point boundary. There is a deep backward fielder at the chop-out man position. It's Ravi Jadeja. He sprints around and throws everything he has at the ball. Yesterday, he seemed unable to actually move this fast. But this is day 5 desperation. That was 4 runs 99% of the time. But Jadeja manages to save 1. Runs have a different currency right now, and this one feels like it's worth billions. Jadeja gets up sore, clutching at his leg. He won't be bowling today, but he will be needed in the field. The third run means Atkinson keeps the strike. Is that good? Is that bad? No one's even sure. 21 runs and 3 wickets to win. Siraj hoops one past Atkinson's outside edge with a full delivery. He demands the ball straight back, but others offer to polish it for swing. Yesterday, he spent most of the time attacking the stumps with his 3/4 seam wobble ball, meaning the odd one slipped down leg. Now he's decided for swing wide of off stump. Atkinson sees this and he leaves the following one, late and not in a pretty way. The cameras find Chris Woakes for the first time in England's change room. He looks like a ghostly figure in the back. He has an arm guard on his right arm, suggesting that he will bat left-handed, or at least be standing on that side of the bat. But his actual left arm is tucked under his sweater in a sling. Just after this, Atkinson launches a big drive, only for the ball to end up in Jarrod's gloves again. Siraj changes up to look for an LBW, but he gets it too straight and a leg bye is taken. But he tries it the next delivery as well. Overton is a massive man, and he takes a huge step across the stumps. The ball beats the inside edge, but umpire Damasina can't see any stumps behind the Goliath all-rounder. He has no Overton window to look through, but he still gives it out. England review immediately, and you can tell from one replay, this is very leg side. So much so that Overton goes back to retake his guard, but it's clipping. He's gone. Now, Josh Tongue is batting. ESPN Cricinfo almost crashes under the incredible load of millions of people searching for the Worcestershire seamer's first-class batting average, 13.98 if you don't mind, with a 50 that he made earlier this year. He middles Siraj's first ball in a way that Smith and Overton found almost impossible at times. The ball bounces up in front of his eyes as the tailender looks at it suspiciously, as if he's aware of some sort of Lord's roll back towards the stumps. 20 runs and 2 wickets to win. The new ball is now due, but India don't even hint at wanting it. You get the feeling for both of these seamers that the ball they have will have to be pried from their cold, dead hands regardless. Rashid bowls another one on a hard length, and Atkinson misses his pull. But something more dramatic happens. England don't take the leg bye on offer. They don't need many. Knocking back the ones they've earned seems a bold move. Next ball, Atkinson slashes the ball over slips to third, and this time he takes a single. It was actually almost 4 as third didn't pick it up. But the real question is, are England taking the runs or not? No one knows. Tongue misses the next one from back of a length. The following delivery smashes into his knee roll. The ball heads off on the offside, usually giving the umpires a clue that it's straight, and Hassan Raza gives it out. But on review, it is very leg side. And it's not just missing the leg stump, but by a mile. Next one is a straight Yorker that Tongue misses again. And India don't get the call, and they think about the review, but it's down leg. The tall quick leaves his next one, just to diffuse the tension for a moment. 19 runs and 2 wickets to win. Atkinson takes a single on the first ball as Siraj delivers very wide. So it appears like England are going to let Tongue face down. Siraj bends outswingers past the edge twice in a row. The tail ender does his best to hit both of them. Prashant Krishna is on the field, but over the boundary. 2 backroom staff are contorting his body into a shape that will allow him to bowl a few more deliveries. It looks like that episode of The Simpsons where they rebuild Mr. Burns' body. But in truth, the Slenderman fast bowler just has to bowl more. His rhythm is too good to chance Akashdeep with any overs. These two are going to have to bowl until it's over. Siraj starts bringing the ball back in, and Tung hits the first one in the middle of the bat, into the ground, and then slip takes it. He defends the following attempt cautiously. Siraj then moves one away, and Tung is beaten again. 18 runs and 2 wickets to win. Prasid pitches one up to Atkinson that's driven. But now they don't take the run that is on offer. They are all over the shop. Shieldberry has watched 500 tests, and he can't remember a time when England batters have ever looked as nervous as this before. And he's not just talking about the tail enders, but also the batters late on day one. They're muddled. Atkinson hits the ball out too long on. Siraj is going to let it come to him, because why move when you don't have to? But then he realizes that there's a little bit of rain that just started to fall, and he doesn't want his precious ball that's swinging everywhere to get damp. So he runs over and picks it up and then dries it off. That follows another hit into the deep that England don't take a run from. The next one is short at Atkinson, who plays a huge pull shot that makes a sound off the bat as if he was hitting it with leaves. Out of nowhere, Atkinson runs, even though he doesn't actually seem to know where the ball has gone. Tung doesn't run because he sees it as headed straight for Siraj. And when he does move, he's not even halfway down when the tired Indian quick picks up the ball and flings it at Tung's end. But it's wild, slipping from his fingers. And finally, for once this morning, his accuracy lets him down. Jarrod slides to save it, and he's a full pitch wider than where it started, but he can't get it. So Atkinson sees the overthrow and heads off for a second. But Tung is meters past the crease. It is a great moment of under-13s cricket in one of the tightest test matches you will find. The pressure is strangling everyone. Tung is beaten trying to defend the next delivery with a big forward press. He has one ball left to face in the over. Prasid moves the fielders around and gestures them to be ready for the hook shot. Did this put off Tung? Only he can tell us, right? But he loses the attempted Yorker, which is actually more like a half volley, and he also loses his off stump. 17 runs and 1 wicket to win. The ghost is real. And now Chris Woakes is moving purposely through the changing room and down the stairs. And when you have a bad break or dislocation like that, that's when you feel it on the stairs. But he powers on through and the crowd rises for him. Although it does look like there's the odd grimace on his face. However, as Woakes always has, he just gets on with his job. India rearranged the field as they believe Atkinson will probably go for boundaries now. Clearly their plan is away swing, and Gill moves his better fielders to the offside, meaning that Akash moves from long off to long on, swapping with Jadeja. Atkinson prepares to slog Siraj away, but the ball isn't where he wants it, and he ends up just pushing it to point instead. Next ball, it's an outswinger on the 5th stump line, and this time Atkinson drops to his knee and sweeps it towards long on. It's a decent connection, but the fielder can come around. But he's in from the rope, so he has to jump up and back to take it. The ball hits his hands and carries over the rope. But it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway, as Akash himself lands on the boundary. Gill must be thinking, though, that if Jadeja had been there, it might be different. But those 6 runs are massive. A mistime pull shot follows, and it loops up to mid-wicket, but there is no one there. But of course, Siraj still tries to get there. The next one, though, is an inside edge down a fine leg. England aren't looking for runs. India take a punt here and decide that protecting the boundaries is more important than getting Woakes on straight. Siraj has gone for 746 runs this summer. Only 16 seamers in a test series of less than 6 matches have ever gone for more. And yet, he keeps on digging. And his next ball, which is his 1,111th of the series, is a 90-mile-per-hour full toss. Atkinson tries to smash it away and misses. And somehow, it doesn't cannon into the stumps. Siraj falls to the ground on his haunches. There is no one even around to come over and pick him up. He just has to do it himself, again. He storms in to bowl a wide Yorker. Atkinson misses, Woakes runs, and Jarrod collects, and all he needs is a straight roll. But again, it misses. It's like someone is moving the stumps on India. 10 runs and 1 wicket to win. Prasid bowls another full toss, but it's a high one, and it's hoiked out towards cow corner. It looks off the bat as if it's a boundary, and English fans start to rise. But Sai Sudarshan comes from nowhere to get it, stealing 2 runs back for India. But there is a delay here as Woakes' sling seems to have come loose. Atkinson and the umpire Hassan Raza all play their parts in getting Woakes to be back right again. Well, maybe not right, but okay. This could be the last thing Woakes ever does on a cricket field. His injury is really serious. There are reports of issues far beyond a normal dislocation. And he will be out for a long time regardless of this. Watching him run is painful, so you can only imagine what he is going through. He's also a chance of tripping and falling at any moment and making all of this worse. But Atkinson slogs away 2 balls. He misses both of them. But the way he's going at them, his options are a top edge straight up in the air or a top edge over Jarrell's head for 6. Death or glory. Jarrell is also now running towards the stumps after each delivery. When Atkinson misses another swipe, he ensures that there is no single. There are fielders spread everywhere. Gill is trying to make them finer for edges, and Prashid wants them straighter to fill those gaps. And to be honest, they're both right. Prashid actually drops the ball at the top of his mark at one stage. He's so nervous. He could be a national hero in a couple of minutes or a cricketing joke for a lifetime. Last ball of his over, Atkinson expects the wide Yorker again and moves across to stop it. So Prashid goes slightly straighter. This allows for a block wide of the bowler and another stolen run. 7 runs and 1 wicket to win. England are now a single hit from a tie. Woakes is talking to himself, trying to get himself going. He joins Atkinson for another debrief as well. Gill and Siraj are putting the field exactly where they want it. Atkinson gets on strike, and the English batter sees a full one, and he gets down to slog sweep another one away, hopefully for a 6. Siraj delivers another full toss. The ball doesn't hit the pitch or the bat, just the stumps. Siraj celebrates. Woakes never even faced the ball. The Indian team and fans celebrate, but then there's just a weird murmur after it. The crowd is all on their feet, but all fans, nationality doesn't seem to matter here at all. Just pause. They're still, as if they know they just saw one of the best hours, or 56 minutes, of their cricketing lives. Mohammad Siraj isn't in the victory lap he inspired. He's off doing press, and then he runs. A few overs ago, he was trying to get into position, and you could see the stiffness in his body. He just couldn't move right. There was really nothing physically left of him. He was just basically heart at the end. But now he's won. And so he runs across the outfield quicker than he should, just to get back to his team. In his hand is the ball. It was clear from the way he went about this that Shubman Gill would have to rip it from his hand. It was his until the end, no matter what was going to happen. And now he'll always have it. And when he finally catches up to his team, he jumps on Prashid Krishna. This time, it's a hug of joy. Brian Lara used pot plants to work on his placement. John Wright glued his glove to his bat. Sachin Tendulkar dug up practice pitches. Tatenda Taibu cut the top off his bat. Claire Taylor used a hockey grip. Steve Smith was from tennis. Dean Jones would call phantom runs. And Victor Trumper turned the nets into a war zone to survive. The best batters in the world do whatever they have to make runs. We have told their stories in our new book, The Art of Batting.